Hello.
Yeah, so I don't know how we're gonna, are they not here? Todd Platicos not here?
No, they're not here right now. So,
I'm here.
oh, you do 5 Platico? Do you have, can you, wait, real quick, do you have a copy of the drawing or plans that you have? Do you have a pictures as well, just like any visual?
Because it's the back wall, right?
Back exterior.
Okay,
Yeah, like, and it's essentially the wall of the building, but stepped out, right? Am I?
It's basically the back wall, stand outside of the back of the building.
Yeah.
all right, just see if you got a picture.
Okay.
Anyway, so we've got everybody here. We've got 3. Noah will be absent. So welcome everybody to the zoning board of appeals for the village of New Paltz. Today is June 14th, year 2022. It's 7 o'clock now. We're going to start the meeting. A few items on our agenda tonight. We have a public hearing that is open. We have one that we're going to open right now. And we have 5254 Manheim here to discuss his access roads and enter and exit roads. And we have some administrative business to cover as well. We have here both 5254 Manheim and 5 Plattekill. Very good. We have the 123 Main Street public hearing. It's still open. Just real quick, is anybody here to discuss that while it's open? It's kind of a moot point, but just I feel I should ask. I don't really see anybody here wanting to comment on that. Can I get a motion to close that public hearing? Second.
I think was that supposed to be adjourned until the July meeting?
Yeah, well, we can close it and
Close
reopen.
it, okay, and the matter will be discussed at the July
Because it
meeting.
may not, if we don't, we could forget it. They may come to a conclusion about this. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure, no, that works.
might be open for infinity. We'll forget. All those in favor? Aye. All right, so we'll close that public hearing for now and we'll reopen it again. It's been open for 2 months, so people theoretically have had enough time to really come forward and if they wanted to say anything about it. Now we have to schedule the 5 Plattekill, right? That wasn't done last time, just to verify, Ashley.
You would have to do a motion to open that public hearing.
Right, and so we haven't scheduled it. So can I get a motion then to open public hearing for 5 Plattekill? Second, please.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so that public hearing is open. I see nobody here right now to make any discussions about it. Ashley, I think we could leave it open. You want to leave it open for another month? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I
Nobody
think
here
if
right
if there's no one there, I mean, you could leave it open in case someone shows up while you talk to the applicant, if you want, if they're present.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it open as we discussed with the applicant.
And then you could close it if no one is there to speak.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that open right now. We have a request for an adjournment for 123 Main Street on the appeal of the action or interpretation by the building inspector. So we're gonna,
Well, you
Right.
closed that public hearing, so that matter is now gonna be, you shouldn't be doing anything with that matter until July.
well, he requested for an adjournment. Do I need to make a motion for that?
You
To
just
agree to
closed the
that?
public-
Okay.
You had
So
just
just-
closed the public
okay.
hearing, so
So
instead of
that-
adjourning it, you closed it, so that,
That's the adjourn. Okay, so he's done. All right, can we have 5 Plattekill? Would you like to come up? And what paperwork do you have on that?
Really?
I wasn't at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at it. So you got, I guess, come on up here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this at the time. So we seem to have a little bit of a question here as to, so you don't need a variance. All you need really is, this is just to rebuild a non-conforming wall that's already existed. Am I correct by saying that?
Right, it says the
Okay.
zoning board may authorize rebuilding.
Okay, so let's talk about what it is that, show us because there's some confusion.
Okay, so this is the addition going in the front. And this back wall right here
what, it's easier to, by the time they try to repair it and do what they want to do, it's gonna be almost nothing but.
The wall of the building.
Wall.
That's where I got confused,
Yeah,
because
that-
there's retaining walls.
Right,
I
the
thought originally, I
exterior
thought we were
wall.
talking about a retaining wall behind the wall, so I'm like,
Yeah, I'm getting.
the only wall here is the wall. Okay, all right.
Is it because it's so close to the property line? Is that why it's not conforming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because of the
Okay.
property line.
Pre-existing non-conforming.
Okay, I was also confused because I'm like, these walls are not near anything. I'm like, I couldn't figure out what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the building wall. It's not
building
the,
wall.
not the
Yeah.
retaining wall. Okay. All
And we
right.
want to put it right back exactly where it was.
So you just want to rip it out,
Put it
pour a
back.
foundation and put a new one
So
in.
I think they're reasonable foundation.
Yeah.
But they want to just because they're doing the windows and the different siding, it's just easier.
You didn't have a picture of it, did you? Just what
I
it
did,
looked
and I
like.
don't remember.
It's okay. This is gonna be the same exact footprint,
Yeah, same exact.
same exact
Put it
footprint
right
to
back
what's
where it
there.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're gonna do it in block? You're gonna pour it? What are you gonna do?
I think I submitted the,
Because it's like divided, there's like a fence that comes halfway into it. Yeah, yeah.
So the building is like right on the property line? Really freaking
Well,
close.
you're probably almost seeing this.
If you have a picture of it, we'll see a picture. If not, don't worry about it.
It's this,
No. Oh, yeah. It's right
yeah,
there.
this wall, so cars park here, so there's like a K-bar type, like along the back of here. Like to keep people from hitting the.
Okay.
Now, like I said, it's the exact same footprint,
exactly.
exact same thickness.
Yep.
Obviously, it's the height is gonna be the same because it's
Same.
part of the building.
Right.
It's a concrete material.
Yeah.
It meets all the building inspectors codes, safety, everything like that. All right. Now, this doesn't require a variance. Ashley, it's been a while since we had one of these up in front of us. I'm just gonna request a motion to authorize
So
when the time comes. I'll give these guys.
actually, so two things. First, you would have to close the public hearing.
All
But
right,
second, this did require referral to Ulster County Planning Board, so you're unable to take a vote to authorize it until you receive comments back from the county or until 30 days has passed. So
when did this go up in front of the planning board?
It'll be at the July meeting, the first week of July.
Okay, so there's nothing except for me to close the public hearing. There's nothing to do with this right now then.
So you could close the public hearing, you could discuss the standard, as you noted, it's not a variance. This is an application for reconstruction, and you're able to authorize it if the rebuilding would not constitute a substantial enlargement of the use, and if the rebuilding would provide better aesthetics, higher setbacks, or assist in alleviating existing nuisance characteristics.
I thought you
So-
said we couldn't authorize it until we
No, I'm
heard
just,
back.
I said that's the standard if you wanted to discuss it and give the applicant
Oh,
an
okay.
indication of.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be helpful for us just because if
Yeah,
there's issues, then we can proceed with those building plans.
Yeah.
Accordingly.
I'm
All
not
right.
seeing the problem here.
let's close the public hearing first. So can I get a motion to close the public hearing for 5 Plattekill? Second,
Aye.
all in favor? Aye. All right, so the 5 Plattekill public hearing is officially closed. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant for, I did not, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy? Okay, so anybody have any questions for Andy?
That cleared up.
Are you gonna come again to us? Because this is the second time we've discussed this property in the last year. I'm just wondering if there's any other things that are gonna come up.
No.
Okay, because you're supposed to bring them all at once, just to let you know that, but okay, all right.
Obviously, we can't vote on this tonight. We all have the opportunity to sit down with the building inspector and ask any questions we want. For my own personal thing, if I see no change in the footprint, and all the materials meet the proper codes, I see no, I can't speak anything firmly, but I think you'd be in good shape.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, any?
I'm feeling safe. Yeah.
Okay. All right, again, just make sure everything's on file with the building department and make sure that Corey is very happy. We like to make buildings very happy. Absolutely. Okay, all right, thank you. Andy.
I'm
Good.
Yeah.
You're still here.
Yeah.
All right, so I think, all right, so let's.
Wait, you just said you had nothing else.
All right. So let's call up 120,
Get like
excuse
four
me,
in the light.
5255 South Manheim. Come on up, please. Introduce yourself.
Keith Bubble?
Keith,
Yes, sir.
nice to meet you, Keith. I'm Tony, Sean and Cody. So
Yes, the third, actually. Well, there.
All right. So, I mean, I haven't been here for the last 2 meetings, but I have been following this rather closely. So we first initially talked about, I didn't see the original plan, but it had one enter and exit, which is not up to how the village likes to do things, not up to our codes. This is the original?
Yeah,
This
that's
one?
the original.
Okay, so this is not the original.
These are both alternative options.
Okay, why don't you come and talk a little bit about
This
what
is-
you're gonna do here? So what's the difference here with this one? I didn't see.
So.
Hold on, I guess I
You
can.
can speak.
Why don't you
Yeah.
show me,
All
show
right, let me
us
try
what the
to
differences are here. Go
We
ahead.
originally came in with one main entrance, two-way, to ask for just one
Okay.
regular entrance instead of two, which is required for senior citizen development. That clearly was not, the board didn't seem very happy with that at all. So we went back to the planning board with a couple different options. And one would be a wide boulevard like this. This would be two separated lanes with a center median that you could drive over for fire trucks. And the other option would be basically a paved, this was a sidewalk, make it wider, we put a radius on it, so it'd be like an alternative emergency 12-foot wide access. And the planning board definitely preferred this, but it sounded like Corey didn't think this met code as far as multiple vehicle access points. And then correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but I think that's why he said that the boulevard was an issue. As
Yeah,
far
so
as code.
the code provision that is at play here, it requires two means of vehicle access for a senior citizen facility. And this, because of the width of each of these lanes, for if you're having a two-way access, the minimum width, I think, is 25, and each of these, or I'm sorry, is that
Yes,
correct? And then each of these is less than 25, so
right. So
They
it's- from what I
wouldn't
understood,
each of these lanes wouldn't on their own be their own
Right.
means of ingress and egress.
so this would need to be a 25-foot access and then another 13 one-way to be two means of access, which is what you're saying. So we would need a variance for this, definitely. He thought, and this is just a conversation so far, that this probably wouldn't need a variance because this is another separate means. This is an access and this would be a one-way, but still an access. So this probably wouldn't need a variance, but we're trying to figure out, whether this board would feel better about one of these two options and granting a variance.
No,
And I think there was a question too before the planning board, because there was discussion about this option where it was pedestrian path. We're talking about the second option now, but it would be allowed to be used in case of emergency. So if a fire truck or something was using the bigger main access, then you could have this other alternative, what's normally a pedestrian path, you could have that for use by vehicles to go in and out. So I think that the question was whether that would be sufficient. It might still need a variance in the sense that it would be this limited type of second access, but it would still, in a sense, be a second access.
those roads are so close to each other that if one of those gets blocked, they're all getting blocked. I mean, a school bus could block all three of those roads. And that's not even a big vehicle. So that means anything over, the apartment complex next door to you built at great expense a secondary road out. And that has normal aged people in it. And you're gonna have old elderly people who, if need to be moved in an emergency, they're not gonna be able to get out if that road is blocked. I'm having a huge problem with this. We have the same problem behind our house where we have a single exit in and single entrance in to the apartment complex off of Prospect Street. And every time there's an emergency there, it's a huge cluster. It totally.
I live there.
Yeah, he lives there. It's a mess.
And no one, that's not senior.
And that's on senior living. That's everyone in there is ambulatory and can walk. And you're trying to, I'm having a huge vision problem with this.
Where are you saying?
I live on the corner of Slate and Prospect Street. It's Turtle Rock Apartments. There's only one entrance in and out. So anytime there's an emergency, it's a mess. And most of the time it's not even an emergency. And And it's the alarms are going off.
Yeah.
It's a fire alarm.
Here's what's, this is my advice for you gentlemen. This has a lot of spotlight. Some variances that we issue are minor code infractions, and some are really never even come up. Okay, some of them are antiquated. Okay, some of them is just somebody just trying to get by. This is serious. The zoning code, I mean, there's a reason why there is 2 access roads into what, in the way we enter, when they put this code in. I happen to have felt very strongly about it. I know this code. And you're coupling this with a senior citizen residential building. So to think that there's not going to be ambulances going in and out and police cars, maybe as much as 2 or 3 times a month. It's going to be, none of that, you've got senior citizens who are driving. So if you ask me what I like the biggest, widest road and the safest road I mean, this is 55 and old. Okay, so I don't know how old someone's going to be to drive, and nor am I trying to be prejudiced against anybody who's 80 years old driving. Nevertheless, reflexes aren't quite as good. Vision isn't quite as good. And especially if something can be confusing. People, relatives visit. So I'll be very honest about what I feel good about. I feel good about if you needed something that was minor, that was for 2 roads, that provided accessible width in and out. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about 6 inches or something like that. Okay, but this is big. First of all, you're going to need a 12-foot on one side right there. That and 12 feet's a lot when you're driving a car. So, I mean, for me, I can concur with Sean, and I'm sure that Cody's probably going to concur with Sean as well. That I really don't feel good about either one of these 2 plans. That's, if you wanted my feedback on that right now.
I can say that from the original plan to the Boulevard plan, I don't see any difference whatsoever. I don't know how that helps the situation. If I had to lean towards one and pick one, which I don't necessarily, this at least gives a secondary option. But as he was mentioning, for that to be used could be confusing, and they're so close. And I'm not sure, we'd have to look into, because of that odd jut out in the property line there. I'm not sure if that restricts us from making that like a usable space that's farther over, but like, I'm not sure what the 30-foot wide with the boulevard does.
Yeah, 5 more feet isn't.
That doesn't really add
It's not
anything to me, because
significant.
I'm picturing a section of 32 being closed down for a car crash, and then an elderly person needing an ambulance, and mostly because I've experienced these things. Like, and I mentioned in the last meeting, carrying, like, it might not seem like a lot, but if an ambulance can get here and not to here, even if it's a paved smooth sidewalk, transporting someone, an elderly person in a stretcher, is a tedious task. And that's, in my opinion, the reason why this code exists, is to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, if you needed a variance or a setback or a side variance to widen the lot, make that road wider, okay, that's something that, we'd be more likely to consider. Or to me, a safe traffic pattern, if it was one way all the way around the building. And listen, it's not our job to tell you how to build. Okay, we can only tell you what we're here to try to do is to protect the aesthetics and the safety and the characteristics of town, of the village. So, I mean, I don't want to come here and tell you what to do. I could tell you that from what I'm seeing here, listen, we all know builders, there's costs involved. There's, we're always trying to work as best we can with a builder. This is a challenge. You're going to have to come up with something, I think, a little more creative than putting an island in the middle. This bottleneck here is, to me, a red flag. It's a dangerous spot. And I think that was where I would start. You guys have anything else you want to offer? Both sides.
No, absolutely revisit it and get something that meets those concerns and. No, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Gary. Go ahead, Andy. You have something?
The height variance. Actually, that's something we can.
I can't hear, is there a microphone or something that you could repeat?
Right
the
here, you
comment?
guys can come up below. Maybe if you can sit here if you like. Do we still have a area, do we still have a variance for the height of the building?
You do. You still have that one. You had deliberated on it last time and authorized me to draft a decision, which I have done, but this one also is waiting to hear back from Ulster County, so you won't be able to take action on that.
We can't take any action. I mean, you see where we're leaning on that original resolution, okay?
Yeah.
Positive,
Right.
but we can't do anything with it till we get back there.
Okay, I don't know.
So we're gonna sit tight on that one, okay?
I hate to split the baby, but.
Well, maybe you'll get something in time. We'll see how it all works out. Sean or Cody, you have any questions for these guys?
No, they were very clear, the plans were excellent, everything's just well, so I was happy. Except for that. Yeah, the height, yeah, everything was the height. The height is fine. Yeah, that's very straightforward, very. This is.
Our decision.
Yeah.
Because a safety concern.
Should we have it back from county by next meeting? Should, right?
Well.
I believe they would be on the July meeting. Is that correct, Autumn?
Correct.
For county?
Well, hopefully we'll see you next meeting with a plan.
Sounds good.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Okay. Okay, for the ZB, I think we have some administrative business and then we can get to any village board updates. Has everybody had a chance to peruse the April 10th, the May 10th minutes?
Yes.
Is there any questions or issues with it? Now, I can't vote. I mean, I guess I can. Well, I can.
You should probably hold off on voting until next meeting when no one's present.
Yeah, it's not actually, it's only my little thing. It's not required to put the minutes into the record.
A lot of boards do it because it's good because it just
Yeah, I-
confirms that it's accurate and it's just good for the record to do. So,
I'm gonna.
but sometimes it happens where you can't because there's not a quorum and that happens.
Well-
But I think if you want to take it up at your next meeting.
We could, or, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna vote on it, then that's fine. I could just vote. Whenever. All righty, any village board updates? Okay, we're good there. Is there anything else that we need to go over then? All good? Autumn, do we have anything from, the village board, besides, anything direct or anything that we need to take a look at?
Nothing new.
All right, well, can I get a motion in to close the June 14th zoning board of appeals for the village of New Paltz? Second?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, that meeting is now concluded for June 14th. See you next month. There we go. See that?
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, Ashley.
Parts of the professional.
Yeah, we don't, actually, there was a time.